Thank you for staying with us. So the Nigeria Football Federation, that's the NFF, has since declared the Super Eagles coaching job vacant as the search for a new head coach begins in earnest. A statement released on the Federation's website said it is looking for passionate and proven coaches to lead the national team to bigger things on the international stage. However, the NFF also listed the requirements that must be met by potential candidates seeking to become the next Super Eagles coach. The Federation says the candidates must possess the highest qualification in coaching and must have proven experience in managing at the top level. The criteria also include a successful track record of leading teams to victories, while knowing African football is an added advantage. Joining us, all right, we'll quickly take this video before we get to our guests.
Peseiro played 10 matches in his last country he coached. Lost 8, drew 2. Why would you give a man like that the job? They may as well have invested it in 1 or 2 Nigerian coaches, since they have money to pay and they have no ambitions. Any of 3 coaches who is a Nigerian could have all reached the finals or at least the semi-finals. The bar was really too low. And it was not anything. Eagles played only 1 good game in the entire tournament, the game against Cameroon. They gave it their all. But every other one, sterile football. Tactics was obtuse. Iman went to Nations Cup with 8 forwards and played defensive football. Who does that? There's nothing about that team that will tell you this man, if he stays another 2 years, he has nothing more to offer Nigeria. Our coaches are not there yet. Playing football and coaching football are 2 different skill sets, right? If your coaches are that good, why are they not winning Chan Cup? Why are they not winning Continental Cup?
Up against Fofana, slams it in the back of the net.
The statute of the NFF is when a coach leaves and there isn't a new one, the head of the technical department, whoever it is, will fault. That is what is happening now. It's not an Egavon case. It is what the rules prescribe. Now, the next question is, how long is this going to be? Is it 6 months? Is it 1 year?
Well, joining us in our Abuja studio is a former special advisor to the governor, Inua Yahya of Gombe State, and former chairman of the Gombe State FA and Gombe United FC, Ahmed Shuaibu Gara Gombe. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for having me.
We also have joining us in the studio Solomon Ajuziogu, a senior correspondent in sports. Solomon, good morning.
Good morning, Gara.
Thank you for joining us. Let's begin with you, Mr. Gara Gombe. This matter of who takes over the reins after Peseiro has left is a conversation that has been in the world of sports across Nigeria. Knowing our trajectory as a country, who would you say should occupy that position with the crop of players that we have now, and perhaps that can lead us to victory on the international stage as well as local stage?
Yeah, thank you so much. First and foremost, the debate that has preoccupied the cyberspace and the media space about who should be the coach, the next coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, is unnecessary. Unnecessary in the sense that it is not about who should take over as coach of our national team. There are certain fundamental things which, in my opinion, we fail to do or we fail to establish. In as much as we do not establish those fundamental things, we will continue to be dancing in a cycle or in what I may call barber's seats, motion without movement. No matter the names we bring forward, If those fundamental things I'm going to share with you now are not done, there is nowhere we are going to move from where we are. First and foremost, we lack a coordinated, sustainable, practicable, and sincere coaching education framework in Nigerian football. And you may agree with me, the two fundamental institutions or organizations that are responsible for the development of coaches in Nigeria are the Nigerian Football Federation or Nigerian Football Association, as it were, and the Coaches Association of Nigeria. These two, I cannot guarantee or say any of them has any framework for the development of coaches. Now, having said that, if you look back to history, the first generation of coaches we have in Nigeria, we do not prepare a sustainable transition to transfer the experiences and knowledge of those coaches, those first generation of coaches, to transfer them to next generation, so that by this time, we do not need any debate. We can easily point and say, this is the person who is going to take over the management of our national teams. Not only the Super Eagles, the situation we are lamenting, or I would say is an organizing situation, is in all our national teams. Like I said, the first generation of those coaches we have in this country, if I can volunteer some of few of them, the likes of Sylvester Broderick, Paul Hamilton, Festus Onibinde, Willie Bazawe, Alabi Essien, Taju Disu, and the likes. When they were leaving the scene, we did not prepare any framework to use their experiences so that they transfer their knowledge to the next generation. Remember, we even have coaches like Onibinde who went to Trinidad and Tobago to coach their national team. We have the likes of Kashima Olaloko, who went to Gambia to coach their national team. We also have, in recent times, the likes of Amunike, who went to Tanzania, and also Stephen Keshi that went to Togo and Mali. So, what I'm trying to say is that if we had a framework on ground that would transfer the experiences and knowledge of these people to the next generation, by today, all this debate you are seeing, when you read the social media and platforms and see the names that people have been calling or the kind of discussions that are going on there, you just know that we miss it. Now, the NFA, as it is today, they have a technical department. But I'm surprised, that department is not functional. It's just existing there as a name. There is no program. There's no technical development program, not only for coaches, but even for players. If you look at the Coaches Association, it's the same thing. If they have a functional training and development department, we shouldn't be talking about what we are saying now. And if they do, who are those who are in charge? What are the outcomes? In your preview to this program, you did mention the qualities of the kind of coaches the NFA had said that they need. They say track record of winning matches and track record of experience. They will never get that. They will never get that. And that is why I kept on saying, in as much as the Nigerian Football Association will keep on appointing coaches for not for development but for competitions, we will never get it. You appoint a coach, you say to him, go and get us semi-final ticket. Go and reach us to the finals. That is not development. You are only appointing for competition. But what we need are coaches that from the beginning would give you a 5 years, 4 years development program for development of coaches and also development of players. That is where we can get it right. Not for competition that by the time he gets to semi-final and he says, oh, I have already fulfilled my mandate, so give me this in another chance. Here is a country where in 1985, we went to FIFA maiden edition of Under-17 World Cup with a local coach. We won that championship. Now, 38 or 39 years after, we are struggling to win Cup of Nations. We are struggling to qualify for World Cup. Where smaller countries that when we were winning or the time we won that competition, I do not think they even have a third class or fourth class national teams. But today, they are rubbing shoulders with us. So something is fundamentally wrong. It's not about who should take over. But to be sincere, with the kind of players we have today,
can you hear me? Right.
Yes.
Right. We need to quickly come to the studio now because we have a guest here to compare notes with some of the things you have said. I wonder why you're laughing.
I mean, yeah. Well, Shaibu Garagombe is giving you all of it as it should be. But the only thing I could add at this point is I'm actually surprised they're advertising the position.
Really?
I would have thought that they would scout a coach. At the national team level, 3-time African champions, you don't advertise positions. You scout. The last time, in 1980, when Nigeria won the Nations Cup on home soil, it was Isaac Akioye that scouted Otto Gloria, the man who took over in 1978, who then eventually won the Nations Cup in 1980 for Nigeria. When we were going to hire Stephen Keshi, I do not know how much of the adverts were put in, to do this. Maybe if you're advertising who wants to be under 17 coach, maybe. But it also buttresses the point that Garagombe has put forward. What exactly is your objective? What is the development objective? If you have a development objective, then you will know who to go for instead of advertising the positions. At this level, I do not think we should be advertising. We should be scouting the coaches we want.
Interesting. So, Mr. Garagombe, but all the same, people are still saying that what is this, portion, this love for foreign coaches? Because we've not really seen anything, so spectacular about them, and we have not learned from the likes of what we've not taken cue from Morocco, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, etc. Does that actually delete the fact, or does it disregard the fact that we still should, prioritize our own indigenous coaches as against, borrowing from abroad? Mr. Garagombe, I'm not sure you heard me. Did you hear me?
Yes, okay. You said what? Come again, please.
Yes, I was saying that whether, based on this conversation, people argue that we should still prioritize our indigenous coaches as against looking outward, because they've not really taken us thus far. For instance, we've not taken cue from Morocco, Senegal, and Cote d'Ivoire. So that we should prioritize our own indigenous coaches as against scouting for a better hand, or for white hands, or people that are outside of Africa and continent.
You see, we do not need to be sentimental or emotional about these things. Those countries that we want to copy from right now, Morocco, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, who use indigenous coaches, we have to find out where did they start from with these coaches. They had a program. They have development objective. And these coaches came in and they were putting the blocks one after the other and to get to where they want to go. For the benefit of privilege, I from a privileged position, I know what the Moroccans did to reach where they are with their indigenous coaches. I will not say I know much about what Senegal did or what Cote d'Ivoire did. But by what we have seen, you can see there was a transition for a very long time. And the crop of their players, 50% or 60%, are from local league. That is why there is synergy between a local coach and the local players, and the teams were able to be successful. In our own case, 100%. In fact, there is a norm, it's a convention that we have unwrittenly, or we have unwritten to accept that for you to play in our national team in the Super Eagles, you must come from diaspora. We recruit players from diaspora. We ignore this. I want to say this, mark my words. Any indigenous, I am pro-indigenous coach. But any indigenous coach you put today for Nigeria, it will spell doom because he will not be able to manage those foreign players. In as much as we want to put 90% of our players from diaspora, no indigenous coach can manage them. The only coach that can manage them are those white-skinned people that we say we don't need, or those foreign coaches that we say we don't need. Those that you are talking, whether it is you are bringing back Siasia, or you are talking about Emmanuel Amunike, or you are bringing whoever, in as much as it's a Nigerian blood in him, and he's a Nigerian, you can point his address in Jos, you can point his address in Owerri or in Lagos or in Ibadan. He cannot manage the kind of players we have right now in the national team. Is going to spell doom. Because also, there is a psychological aspect of it. When a particular player is used to...
Right, just to quickly wrap up your thoughts, because our time is almost up.
Okay. Yes, so what I'm saying is that, yes, it is good to have an indigenous coach, but we have missed the point. But I want to repeat that no indigenous coach today can manage the national team players in as much as we depend on diaspora to populate our Super Eagles or our national team.
All right. Quickly, Solomon, your final thoughts on this, and who perhaps are you looking at if we are to someone?
To employ a coach for the Super Eagles, I think that we should zero in on who we want and the kind of thing we want to do. We scout the coaches and we look at the level of affordability. I cannot say that I have anybody in mind, but someone with a track record of achievement, someone who is who has won something. Even if he's going to be a local coach, he has to have won something either on the continent or domestically.
Solomon Ajiziogu, our correspondent, thank you for your time. We must also thank you for joining us, Ahmed Shaibu Garagombe, for your time on the program. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Our time is up.